Uh-oh. Ah, ah, ah. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam. You all know my co-host, Jordan Lyons. Hi, Jordan.
You sound like you're fake excited. Like there's no enthusiasm.
Oh.
Are you not happy that I'm your co-host?
Depends on the day, man. No, that's real.
How are you doing,
That
Adam?
was real excitement. I'm good, man. Great.
It's one of those things where I can't see your face, so I'm just not sure.
That's maybe for the best right now.
Regardless of how you feel, I'm happy to be talking with you, especially about home improvement.
Yeah, me too, Jordan. It's good to be here on Home Podcast with you talking about home improvement. Following up on one of our better episodes ever last week.
I didn't think we could really come back after that. I wanted to leave on a high note, but you insisted. Let's go ahead, record another one.
Last week had a lot of things going for it. It was long. It was in depth. The sound was good. We were both really funny, and it was a good episode to boot. A good episode of Home Improvement. So yeah, I mean, it's one of the all-time
my
greats.
favorite post-recording revelation of that episode was that while I was listening back and editing, I noticed that your audio got messed up towards the end, and you said, "I just decided to lay down," and I guess that's what happened to my audio.
Here's the thing. I was laying down the whole time, so literally. I'm sitting up this week.
The mic just moved a little bit. Yeah,
my neck is better.
That's good.
I'm in a better mindset as long as you don't make me talk about Marvel DC movies. I'll be a happy camper. But we're not here to talk about that unless you really want to. But I don't think we have time.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to spend any more time with the anti-fan, Adam. Let's go ahead.
I just like real movies. My bad. Sorry, my bad. Just like real movies.
All those fake movies.
Some of us are still out there. We like real movies with real people. Yeah, I don't know. Call me antiquated, but I don't need friggin' Iron Man floating through the sky all the time.
You prefer the ones with like the fish people who, I don't know, what was that one? The Shape of Water, the fish people.
Yeah, I like that. That was good.
Fish person? Yeah, exactly.
That was cool.
Real people, real things.
Well,
all right.
Jordan,
Anyway,
here's the thing about that movie. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Instead, we're going to talk about something home improvement related, and that's something that got updated recently. I don't know if any of our fans have been to timallen.com recently, but I did today, and it's got a little bit of a workover, and it's a lot different, and I would say not for the better. I mean, we want to be nice to Tim Allen. We want him on our show. That's still our goal, but we do want to give some critical feedback. Hopefully it helps him redo it again. But when you go to their website, Adam, I sent you there. Mm-hmm. I said it looks a little bit like, I don't know, Doom from the 90s.
We call this constructive criticism. So do with it what you will, Tim and Tim's team, obviously. When you click on the page, it looks like you're looking at a door that would lead you into the bowels of hell. Scorched earth kind of on the map. You got Tim Allen's name is sort of faintly outlined, but it's not the right color, so you don't even really see it right away. And then you got 4 icons: live shows, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. The buttons are big and it's clear what they're going to do. A little outdated, but at least you know where they're going to take you.
I'll tell you,
this is
one
slapdash,
thing.
Jordan. This is slapdash.
It's slapdash. That's a good way to describe it. I do like one thing about this reformat here. Yeah. It's simple. You know exactly with these buttons what you're going to get. There's not a bunch of different links and places that you're going to go.
Again,
otherwise,
if you squint, you can't tell. You only see the buttons. I'm squinting right now. So, it's a failure in so much as it's not necessarily clear it's a Tim Allen website. It is timallen.com, so I guess if you find yourself there, you know where you're going.
You would know. I mean, you can't tell from that face in the background that that's Tim Allen.
There's no face.
That's a face, man.
Where?
The background is like a really, 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 really blown up picture of Tim's face, I think.
Oh, it's the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really thought it was just like colors on a map. You're right. That's even weirder.
It's like a piece. Now it's a piece of art. One of those things you have to look at a few times.
That's very strange. You're right. That is the Santa Claus. Even weirder. Yeah,
it's not getting better when you look at it more.
No. I'm clicking on live shows, and I see he's coming to Chicago in the not so distant future. Tim Allen stand-up tickets still very expensive. Like, you're not getting in for under $100, which, you know, I'm a fan, but I ain't that big of a fan.
Well, maybe you can write in again to the publicist or whoever.
Yeah, I've tried that 2 or 3 times, and seems like it's not working, but...
No dice?
No die, not yet. But I'm sure this website criticism will help. Yeah, that'll get us through the gates.
Listen, we just want Tim to have the best website possible, and I think there's something left to be desired here.
Mm-hmm, definitely, yeah. He should do a Squarespace.
Squarespace. Sponsors of this episode.
No.
No, I did also go to his YouTube channel, which seems like it's been around for about a year, and, you know, on his Twitter feed recently, he's been posting a lot more of, like, the home improvement gag reels and stuff, and that seems to be where they're coming from. So he does have his own YouTube page. It's not like, you know, talking head videos of him or anything like that. It's kind of a weird conglomerate of, you know, gag reels, old outtakes from home improvements that seem to be re-recorded on, like, VHSs, and stuff like that. So that's maybe there needs to be a little bit more of an overarching, you know, brand manager for Tim that takes over this kind of digital persona.
You know what my
Adam.
title is in my current role, Jordan?
What is it, Adam?
Brand content manager. I think I could easily step in. This sounds.
I think so.
Sounds like a logical next fit. I'll work from Milwaukee.
Just go ahead and send a cover letter in.
I have to do a cover letter, which among my least favorite things to do in the world is construct a cover letter.
Dear Mr. Allen,
I'd rather re-record last week's episode and watch the episode 2 more times than do a cover letter for the rest of my life.
I mean, really, all you have to do is send in an episode of Home and Podcast, and you'd be hired on the spot, right?
I'd send in our best one, which has to be
For Whom the Bell Toll. Belch tolls.
That was like 2 years ago. I maybe would like to think we've done better, but probably
perhaps
haven't. Yeah,
maybe an interview episode. That's probably one of our best
because we talk less and listen more.
That's right. All right, so Tim, we've got some pointers. I hope you take our advice. We mean them lovingly. One of the saddest things about this site, rebrand, redesign, whatever you call it, is there used to be a forum where we were gaining more fans because I think you posted a link to our podcast, and there was just general news on Tim Allen and home improvement and other important topics, and that seems to have disappeared. So
ideaexchange.timallen.com. Rest in peace.
No more ideas being exchanged.
Much like the IMDb forum. You know what? These places are becoming just kind of outdated. People are getting rid of them. So it lives on through our memories, of which I have some
fond memories.
Sure, it wasn't bad. You know, there's some weird stuff in there, but. Yeah, it was a good place to post podcast stuff every once in a while. So yeah, I'll miss that. I was thinking with the YouTube channel, I wonder why he doesn't do the direct kind of, addresses to camera like he does in Last Man Standing. I feel like people would like that. That would get some traction.
Yeah, I think they would. He, there are a couple of
kind of like the Kevin Spacey video. Stuff like that, good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it all screams of, like, stuff he doesn't actually have his hands on, really, and this is, he hired someone to do it, so I guess he probably doesn't have time to worry about this kind of stuff.
He hired, like, a 22-year-old girl, and she's got an office somewhere, and every day he brings in, like, 300 old tapes, and he's like, put this on the YouTube channel. She's like, okay, how do you want me to do it? I don't care, just the easiest way, and they just keep it.
Then tweet afterwards.
Do it. And I heard hashtags are big, so you better put 6 or 7, maybe 10 after each tweet just to make sure it finds the right audience.
Adam, you better be careful. You're going to be in his next stand-up act.
It would be an honor. I can't afford to see him in person, so...
No. So I did, I was sad that Idea Exchange was gone, so I went down a very deep rabbit hole to try to find a new forum to replace the Idea Exchange forum, and I found one at sitcomsonline.com.
Can I just say before you go any further, I feel like every
Sure.
week you're going down rabbit holes. Eventually, you're going to get lost.
I've got a great sense of direction, so I'm
Yes, yes,
But-
indeed.
But on this one, a great website. There's lots of things posted on here. I mean, there's stuff being posted, it seems like, every couple of days. So it's still active. There's not necessarily a lot of people, but there is the same person posting over and over again.
Yeah.
So that's good if you want to interact with him or her.
And it's the kid that played Curtis, correct?
Might as well be. Just titled M.A. I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Ma.
But they've got 30,000 posts, roughly 30,000 posts, so they're active.
Mm-hmm.
One of the interesting things on here that you could really talk about is here's a thread. What if Home Improvement met Sesame Street?
Yeah.
There's two worlds combining right there and colliding as well.
If you're doing crossovers, I'll give them this. It's certainly not one that you think of right away.
It's kind of like those Marvel mashups, you know. You get Thor in one room with Iron Man, and
Yeah,
see
you know
what
what? That
happens.
is something I'd think of right away because it's lame and everybody sees it coming. And this is a lot cool. I'd rather watch a Home Improvement Sesame Street crossover than another Avengers movie. That's just me, though. You
Yeah.
know, I'm weird. You know, I'm crazy.
You are a little weird. I'm not gonna get too far into this, but just one idea that MA had was Big Bird. I can picture Big Bird's roller skates or his teddy bear radar being broken. Tim the
know
Toolman
about
Taylor
that.
would come over to fix either one of them for him, while one of the boys would help Big Bird calm down. So you got something for the kids. You got something for the adults.
I know I said this like 5 times before we started recording, but I just keep waiting for these to get sexual. You know, like Big Bird rolls in on his skates and then he bends over and Tim locks out,
That's
so on and so forth. Yeah.
30,000 posts by MA, and none of them are in that taste.
You went through all
So,
30,000? Get out of here.
I had a lot of time on my hands.
I bet you by the time you get to 29,000, there's some things going on. Somebody's sneaking a glance they're not supposed to, et cetera, maybe getting a little incestuous if I know a forum. But
Naturally, that's where your head went immediately. That's the first thing you asked me when I brought up this forum.
that's my perception of forums and like fan fiction, but I don't know. But hey,
I think
that's just me. I don't like Marvel movies, and that's just me. I'm just a unique kind of guy, so that's where I'm at. I
You
heard
are
that
unique.
This Home Improvement Sesame Street mashup made like $1 billion in China. Weird. I heard
Yeah,
they're
I wonder-
I heard they made it directly for Chinese audiences. Isn't that weird?
I mean, I thought it was just an idea, so the fact that you've seen
Yeah,
it play out,
Yep.
kind of special.
Yep.
Well, hopefully you can share some of the footage of that. And while I wait for that, I guess we should talk about this week's episode.
Actually, Jordan, why don't you go ahead and cue those grunts?
Sure, it's all safe to me. Ah! Oh, no.
Now it's time for Bits of Wisdom.
This week's bit of wisdom comes from notablequotes.com. The unfairness of life is indicative of trees. I planted 20 trees in the same block. It's so f***ing weird. 6 became huge, 1 is giant, and there are some little ones. Same soil, same water, same seed. But those little ones just don't grow. I can't explain it. This has been your bit of wisdom. What do you make of that, big dog?
Yeah, it sounds like he needs to be a better gardener. Arborist of sorts.
We've posted that like Arbor Day parody of Tim Allen, like the
Sure,
fake movie.
sure.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it made me think of. It's
Oh.
poignant. Yeah, it's poignant for sure. You know what? Life isn't fair, and if you want proof of that, just imagine yourself hosting 116 episodes of a Home Improvement podcast. All right, what are we covering this week?
All right, episode 116 is going to be the vasectomy one, written by Rosalind Moore and Howard J. Morris. They lasted, that's my mama. That's where Art Leonard makes a move on Tim's mom, and he's not happy about it. This one aired.
Yeah, I'd like to see
February.
Big Bird. I'd like to see Big Bird, Art Leonard, and Tim's mom together. See what happens there. Got a pretty good idea.
I'm guessing there's going to be roller skates and maybe cake batter involved.
Hey, I got a few words for you, Jordan. Irish car bombs. And I say a few words because you can hyphen it, or you can put car bombs together, probably.
Yeah.
Keep going.
All right. Aired February 6th, 1996. I don't have any notes or anything, but I do have some alternative titles, and I know you do as well.
Looks like 4.
Okay. I got 3, so you can go ahead and go first.
All right, first one. Aw, nuts.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
How about Bye Bye Babies?
I don't like that. I mean, it kind of gives me the willies. All right.
The rare I don't like that response to an alternative title.
Just like straight up did not.
Nah.
Nah, that ain't me. Next one. The Fix is in.
Okay. How about Tim Snipped?
How about it?
Just like your favorite gardening tool.
What's that?
A tin snip.
Or
I suppose that...
Tin snip?
Yeah, like a little tin snip.
I've never heard of that. What does it do?
You've never heard of tin snips? Oh, I don't know that they're necessarily used for gardening, but you could. I think they cut metal. Go ahead and look it up, man.
Okay, sure, yeah. I mean, we're always...
also known as shears, hand tools
shears.
to cut
Why don't
sheet
you
men.
call them shears? That's what they're called. Tin snips. What are you, 100?
I had to fit it into a title with Tim.
Tin snips. Make me sound like because I don't know what it is. You're making up words. All right, next one. This is probably my favorite. Balls in your court. I felt good.
Heavy on the balls.
I felt good about that. Yeah, I would definitely.
Heavy on the balls this week.
Yep.
I don't know if you'll know what this is in reference to.
I didn't know what Tin Snip was, Jordan, so hopefully it's not related to that.
This one's a lot more updated.
Okay.
What it has to do with a motion graphics program.
Okay.
Final Cut. No!
Yeah, I know what Final Cut Pro is. That's a good one.
Oh, good.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, all of them are good except for Tin Snip. Last one for me.
Well, no, you hated Bye Bye Babies.
In retrospect, seeming a little better. All right, I gotta decide what I want to do with this one.
You have options.
Yeah. I mean, I always have options with mine. Leave out a word, change things. Here we go. Rear end of the line, Randy. I don't know. Rear end of the line, Randy.
I don't care for that one either.
It's a little wordy, but it's all right. The vasectomy one is apt. It gets to the point. It's like a Friends title. So
it is like a Friends title. That's what I thought. But let's go ahead and get into the episode, and we're going to open on Tool Time. It's
so
Gadget
we open
Corner.
at Central Perk. Ross and Rachel sitting on a couch. Chandler comes in. They're fighting. Chandler comes in. Someone thought he was gay again. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Joey's got an audition, and Phoebe, she's got a new song. And guess what? Monica's stressed about her job. This week on Friends.
What is going on right now? Oh, man. All right. I guess we're... do you want to do an episode of Friends? Is that what this is?
This week on Friends, Ross is going to a paleontology concert. Paleontology concert is where you get all the dinosaurs out, you listen to music, and you just kind of take it all in. All right, let's talk about home improvement.
I was thinking it was more like a Barney concert,
What was I thinking of? Conference, I guess.
Conference. Definitely not concert.
What an idiot. All right. Stop
you
trying
went
to get
too far, Adam.
Stop
you
trying
went
to get
too
me to
far.
talk about Friends when I clearly I have a perfectly decent home improvement episode sitting right in front of me.
Well, let's go to Gadget Corner. We've got, is it June Palmer? Is that her name?
Her name is June Palmer. Good memory. She's been in a couple of them. It's kind of weird having her here because they don't ever do anything with her, really. And I keep waiting for her to, have a little bit more going on, but I don't think she's going to.
No, but in this episode, she's going to move an appliance with an air pressure tube of sorts. It's kind of a reverse vacuum, and she demonstrates it works well. Everyone's impressed, but Tim says, what if you have to go upstairs? And that leads him to develop something with more power. His solution, as you can imagine, is going to backfire. So much so that it pins another worker against the wall. So,
yeah, who was this guy?
I don't know. Was it Klaus?
Could have been Klaus. He asked Marty to zoom in. Or not Marty. It was a different... Maybe it was Marty. It was a different name I hadn't heard before. Not
I thought he
brother.
wasn't supposed to work with his brother.
Yeah, we've been through that, haven't we? Yeah, that's the open. Good graphic at the end, though.
Oh, what was the graphic? Oh, yeah. You're right.
It's a guy being pushed up against a wall with a refrigerator. I was kind of impressed by the machinery here with the floating refrigerator. It seemed like a cool kind of magic trick.
Yeah, I guess you would just put it on sliders in real life.
Yeah, or what's it called? The thing that you slide under things and it's got a couple wheels on the back. My brain's working really well. Can move heavy things with it. What's that called? What's that thing called?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, you slide something under it, you kind of kick it back with your foot, you got two wheels, and you kind of just guide it through.
No, what's it called, man?
Yeah, do you not know what it's called? You're messing with me?
I don't know, man.
Alright, see,
Actually, a lot of times
one.
fridges, don't they have wheels on them sometimes? Sometimes, not all the time.
Well... I don't know, man. Not my fridge, but maybe yours does. All right, so back to what I'm talking about. You slide this thing under, you put your foot on the back, you tilt it back, and then it has a wheel on it, and you can just kind of take it where you want to go. What's that called?
That way you can pivot around?
I mean, it kind of takes the weight off. It's still hard, but...
I thought you'd take the pivot and run for it with a Friends episode reference.
I don't know Friends that well. What's this thing called? I guess it's not going to come to me. I don't know. I've used them.
Like a forklift, but manual, huh?
Manual forklift is a good search. Is that going to yield what I want? Pallet truck? No. Dang, I can't think of it. What's it called?
How about a pallet jack?
I mean, that might be the same thing, but it's not what I'm trying to get at. It's a dolly. Dolly.
There you go.
Dolly, got it.
Bye, Dolly.
Oh, thank God we got that. That's important. Keep all that in. Make sure people know that we're people just like you, and that sometimes we can't think of words, and we want you to know that that's just a part of living. Where were we?
I think that's the end of the opening scene.
We're doing everything we can to make this one not be short. Next scene.
All right,
home.
Brad's working on homework at home. Randy
Yeah.
comes in, and he has snagged the girls' best and worst list. And guess what? Randy is present on the list with the Holy crap.
I was ready to take this scene, but now I'm glad you did. He's got the best butt. We should also talk about Randy's got a slick new haircut, and it's much shorter. And because of the last episode, all the boys look 5 to 10 years older.
Yeah, it looks like they went to a time machine.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, Randy's got a slick haircut. He's looking older all of a sudden, and
Mark's hair is really long, and he's taller.
He's a little taller.
He's almost as tall as Brad, really.
I know. Randy's got the best butt, and he's pretty proud of it. And you know what? Hey, who can blame him?
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of Randy dancing and looking at his butt in the window in this episode, and I like it. It's funny.
Yeah, but
I like it when they put.
You did.
All right, weirdo. They put music to it, and he's trying to strut and stuff. It's really funny.
Well, I guess I won't say it until we get there. I was gonna say, I remember when you got best bud at our school.
Still got it,
Or
man.
maybe it was best bud. All right, Jill comes home. Tim comes home around the same time. You know how they always do. We'll come home at exactly the same time. Jill walks in one door, Tim walks in the other, and they collide and they have a conversation that will prompt the rest of the episode. That's what happens here. Jill found out her old friend in grad school, Patty, is pregnant, and she's older than Jill.
43, I think she says.
And Jill, this really bothers Jill. It really...
It's like her worst nightmare.
Yeah, no one except... Well, I don't even know if I should say this, but I'll say it later. Yeah, she's really concerned about that, and she's, Tim... They'd already said something earlier. Jill asked if the kids were weirder, and Tim said, yeah, they're definitely weirder because of Randy's dancing and whatever, and Brad's mad about not getting best brow. So Jill said, Joey Pagonis won it with one eyebrow. Got a unibrow. Hey, it's like Anthony Davis. People love that. Jill's talking about using extra precautions, to which Tim, makes some jokes, separate rooms, etc., etc. But then we get to the meat and potatoes, and because of the title of the episode, we knew what this was going to be. And Jill wants Tim to get a vasectomy, and Tim is not too happy about it. Jill goes into some detail. It's safer for a man than a woman. It's easier, etc., etc. Tim ends the scene by saying, maybe more kids wouldn't be bad after all. He's just not into the idea, Jordan.
No, and he walks up and he says, "Kids, come down here. I want to tell you how much I love you,"
Yeah.
which is another pretty funny moment. Moment. Yeah, Tim at first he's on board until she says "snip snip" or Tim snips, and he's not into it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I'm happy that they are back to naming characters with funny names like Joey Pagonis or Pagunis or
I
whatever.
gotta be honest, I didn't
him.
even notice that during the episode, but it is good.
Well, yeah, I
But I
liked it.
was watching on mute both times, so
You're just reading subtitles? Is that what?
I was reading a book as the episode was on. Let's got a little sidetracked.
You were thinking about dollies the whole time.
Yeah, Dolly World. Yeah,
Down at Harry's.
Tim doesn't like the idea of it, and we'll continue on. Harry's Hardware. Man, Marty's wearing an ugly sweater here. They draw attention to it immediately, which is good, but it's about as ugly as it gets. I wouldn't even wear that thing. It's not even quirky. It's just weird. It's ugly.
Was there a 90s show where they always had these terrible sweaters? I feel like there was.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's always wearing ugly sweaters. Oh. Well, in the Santa Claus, what's his face?
Oh, that's it. That's
Judge
what it
Reinhold
is. That's what it
always
is. Yep.
Yeah.
That's where. I couldn't think of it, but that was the first thing that my mind was trying to jump to. But yeah, it's a very ugly sweater. They do call it out right away. And then this, Marty's getting ragged on, and he kind of wants to deflect the attention.
That's what you gotta do.
And he
That's what you gotta do.
points it right at Tim.
Yeah. And you know what? Shame on Jill for telling Nancy, or however this went down, but the fact that Marty knows about the vasectomy, that's only, like, you want Tim to do this? That's the worst way to go about it. This is bad. This is bad news.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And so Marty is spooking Tim with all the jokes that they're making. Benny's, making fun of him. Harry is around.
I'm not letting Benny make fun of me for anything ever. Like, hey Benny, at least it's kind of, I mean, I guess Harry kind of makes a joke later, but like Benny says, I'm not getting a vasectomy. And Harry's like, you don't really need one. Benny thinks it's done by the vet, et cetera, et cetera. They're just really roasting Tim.
I did notice the second time watching that Harry isn't roasting Tim necessarily.
Okay.
He's kind of staying out of it, but then he does make fun of Benny.
That's a good note.
And then,
I didn't really notice that either. He's kind of laughing, and you can infer what that maybe means later on. But what I noticed near the end of the scene is there are just like customers in the store shopping regularly. Like, can you imagine being in a store and like four guys are just roasting one guy about getting a vasectomy? Very uncomfortable.
I just came here for a rake, guys. Gosh.
I just came here for a tin shovel or whatever you talked about earlier.
Tin snips.
Tin snips.
You've never heard of tin snips before?
Jordan, I'm not doing a bit. I don't know what tin snips are. If that makes me less of a man or a person or an academic snob, then so be it. But tin snips, not on my radar.
You are the academic. All right. And we should say, too, Al is here, like, coming to defense.
Of course.
Tim's defense, as always.
Good final joke here as well. I don't know if you're going to get to it or not. But
no, go ahead.
Okay.
And I'm write it down.
Tim is like standing by the counter, and Marty says, "Hey Tim, can you get me some chips? Better yet, how about some nuts?" I actually, for all the jokes of the scene, kind of thought that was funny. I don't know, maybe it's just because the scene ends on it, but
Marty is not that clever usually, so he probably came into this store with like jokes written down, and he's just been firing them off one by one.
To his hand, and there's just like smeared ink all over it for all the vasectomy pits he's gonna use.
I mean, that's the only way to explain it to me. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. He was amazingly clever here for Marty. But yep,
it's not in his character. But
hey,
you know what?
I got a vasectomy stat for you.
Go ahead.
What percentage of the male population do you think gets vasectomies?
Oh, geez. I really don't have a guess at all. I'm gonna say 15%.
You're close. It's only 9. I would have thought like 50. I don't know. Seems pretty common, but 9%.
50? You think 1 in 2 males gets a vasectomy?
Yeah, man. How else you gonna keep things under wraps? 28% of women get the I don't know what you call it, hysterectomy. Yeah. which I guess just kind of proves that men are cowards, since this episode makes such a point to say how much more dangerous it is for a woman than a man, and yet
Rosalind Moore was really rubbing it in right in this episode.
This is the feminist angle that we read about all those years ago on the message boards, and Jill's the commissar. How dare she ask her husband to get a vasectomy? Next scene, Jordan.
I was going to say, I think hysterectomies happen for more than one reason, though. That's probably why it's a higher percentage, but I don't know. But it's
So what's your point? You siding with these guys? You think women have to do it? That's pretty antiquated.
I'm going to side with Al. I'm just going to go with Al. Whatever's going on, I'm going to go with Al.
Yeah, I'd backtrack too if I were you. We're at the doctor's office. Tim, they're waiting in an actual office. Tim is nervous. We kind of a funny gag here where a husband is just like running down the hall trying to make a break before his vasectomy, I guess.
And I think he's pretty naked. I think he might have like a gown on, so he's about to get operated on.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, Harold, I'm gonna say, but might be wrong.
It was something like that. Yeah.
The joke, of course, is that the doctor who comes in is a woman. Oh no!
Oh, Dr. Kaplan's a woman?
I can't believe Dr. Kaplan's a woman. How is this ever going to work out?
He's not. He's really. I mean, everything that happens in this scene for Tim is another reason to go. And this
just shows the show's kind of dated and stuff, but and maybe I'm revealing too much, but I have. As a person now, I feel like I have experiences with female doctors all the time as it relates to kind of personal things that involve being a man, and I don't really think about it at all. But for Tim, it was a big deal. I don't know. I guess that's just me, or maybe that's just the times. But he did not want a female doctor having anything to do with that. So
too bad.
Yeah. Do you prefer? You only like male doctors, right?
I haven't been to a doctor ever. I'm just in perfect health.
Yeah. Yeah, sure you are. It's not what I heard.
So in this scene, there is a joke that Jill says, something about manland between her legs.
Yeah, she mentioned it talking to us.
I was going to say, and I believe Patricia Richardson, that was one of her favorite jokes.
Theme park between your legs. He doesn't want a woman at manland. Yeah, she did like that. And it did get a pretty good laugh from the audience. So it's interesting to be able to see that play out. But I did remember our 4-hour discussion with Patricia Richardson when that line came up.
I wish she was talking to us right now.
You know what though? She doesn't wish that. Dr. Kaplan is played by Caroline Williams. Sadly, she passed away in 2010 at the age of 64, so fairly young. 45 credits to her name, best known for work on Benson, Beverly Hills 90210, Judging Amy, but this was actually one of her last roles as Dr. Kaplan. So, she doesn't really have a lot to do. She plays a serious doctor fairly well, I guess.
I mean, yeah, the conversation goes, as you would expect, and I think she does fine. Tim is feisty, worried about his sexual function. They walk through the procedure. There's shaving, there's shots, there's cuts, and other things.
No doctor would put up with all these jokes, by the way. He's
you don't think so?
Doctors don't have time for this kind of bullshit. He's just bebopping and scatting around doing his comedy bits. She's walking out of there so fast. Well, you either want one or you don't. I'm a doctor. I'm rich. I have a lot of patience. That's just not how it works. You don't go to the doctor, so you don't know. But I'll tell you, no doctor's putting up with this.
I would imagine that she's probably pretty used to this, though. When guys come in to talk about this, they have lots of questions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's questions, and then there's just I don't want someone to get poked into my balls. He just said that 100 times. It's okay, we get it. She's not putting up with that. Sorry.
All right.
End of discussion.
Well, the only restriction that drives Tim over the edge is that he can't drive for a day, and that pushes him, and he leaves, and he says, "Wait for me, Harold," and leaves. Mm-hmm. He's trying to catch up with the naked guy who ran away. Mm-hmm. Later at home, this is the scene that we were talking about earlier. Randy's twerking, basically.
You could tell that they couldn't they didn't want to pay for "I'm Too Sexy," that song, so they just used some kind of it's like a jazzy sort of offbeat. It's it's good. He's just dancing in the mirror, shaking his butt. Fun. I'm sure the young girls liked it at the time.
Mark walks in on his brother, and he's pretty disturbed, as I think we all would be. And I think there's some jokes here. Randy is really feeling himself, obviously.
Yeah.
At making this list, and Mark is trying to bring him down a peg. Brad and Angela come in, and Brad is still upset over not being on the list, and then Angela does her thing where she talks very fast and lets slip that this all was kind of a joke. Another girl was trying to get back at her boyfriend for not giving her the attention she felt she deserved. Mm-hmm. And poor Randy.
Yeah, because he's got the boniest butt in the school. That's why they chose him. Just like
scrawny boy.
Yeah.
A scrawny boy. He's deflated.
Yeah, he takes it pretty well, though. You know.
Does he?
In so much as that we don't see him the rest of the episode, so I don't really know how he's doing, but
so
I'm assuming he's taking it well.
I'm guessing he's just sulking right now. Till the next episode.
Mark has a pretty good line, and I bring this up because Mark has only had maybe one or two good lines before, where I think Randy says something like, there are two types of people in this world, ones with looks and ones that don't have looks, and it's like, and I've got them, and Mark says, too bad you're sitting on them. It's kind of funny.
Burn, baby.
And then Mark lit up a cigarette, took a nice long drag.
Mark's going to have a good couple episodes here.
Own.
That's right.
Next scene.
Enjoy it, people.
Actually,
Tim and
I
Jill
guess
arrive.
same scene. Not next scene. Tim and Jill arrive. They're fighting. And then Tim heads outside.
Oh, man. Tim says the worst thing that you could say for a man. He says, you don't understand about pain down there.
Yeah.
And that obviously does not go over well with Jill. She talks about all the kids and all the stuff with that. And then a stalemate ensues. Tim says he's going to go outside. Apparently he's getting his advice from idiots who work at who are at the hardware store. Mm-hmm. And he goes outside to see Wilson.
Mm-hmm. And this week we will play a clip.
Was that you, neighbor?
Yeah. Hi, Wilson. What are you doing?
Well, I'm gathering some twigs for my terrarium. It's mating time for my new spiders. You know, Tim, it's a little known fact, but the male spider's sex organ is located at the end of one of its legs.
Better keep that spider away from Jill. Won't have a leg to stand on.
I'm not sure I follow.
She wants me to have a vasectomy.
Ah, I follow.
I know a lot of guys get them, but I'm just not one of those guys. I don't want anybody messing, with the...
Well, Tim, it's perfectly natural for a man to be proud of his virility. It gives him a sense of power to be able to pass down his genes.
Yeah, I like power in my genes. Oh.
As a matter of fact, in many cultures, a man is measured by his ability to procreate. In the Zulu tribe of KwaZulu-Natal, the more children a man has, the higher his status.
Well, I don't want to have any more children. I just like knowing that I can. When Jill first told me she was pregnant, I never felt more like a man.
Well, that's perfectly understandable.
I knew a guy would understand.
I also understand there are lots of other things that make you a man.
Such as?
Well, the way you live your life, take care of your kids, your commitment to Jill.
So I should get a vasectomy?
Oh, Tim, I can't tell you what to do. I do know that if I had a vasectomy, I would not feel like any less of a man.
Well, if you had one, neither would I.
Wilson's spiders are about to mate, Jordan. At which point, you sent me the time code for this, and you were like, 15 minutes, you're going to like it. I didn't like it that much. And, Wilson says that, spiders mate using a leg or something of that sort. Tim says you better keep them away from Jill, which, of course, prompts the vasectomy discussion. It's good. It's nice. It's heartfelt. Tim, says he doesn't want to have more kids, but taking that away makes him feel like less of a man. Wilson, tries to reinforce that there are lots of things that make you a man. You're taking care of your family, other things that I seem to have forgotten. And,
commitment to Jill,
yes.
The way you take care of your kids, the way you live your life.
Yes, those things. And it's got Tim thinking, maybe I've been wrong all this time.
And he's not sure until the next scene.
Yeah.
In which Harry comes on the Tool Time set, and at first I was like, what the heck is Harry doing here? And Tim is also wondering that.
First of all, huge twist. Nobody saw this one coming. I mean, I was surprised, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't necessarily see it coming, but Harry has met Tim, and he apologizes for how much they were ribbing him. And Harry lets him know that he's actually had a vasectomy about 5 years ago. He did it to save his wife from the fear of surgery. And Harry says it's not bad at all. Nothing changes. In fact, your sex life gets better because anytime, any place.
Yeah, but why does your sex life get better? Because the woman owes you for doing this? Is that what the perception is? Like,
no, you don't have to worry about having like a condom or anything.
Oh, and because you don't have to worry about a condom, you just all the time. That's the idea.
That's the idea.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, Harry and Dolores came in the morning with just curlers on, and Tim says,
and Tim runs for the refrigerator and tries to crush himself under it this time.
Tim runs through a wall. All right, it's good. I do like Harry talks about, like, I went to Nam, I've been bombed, I've been shot, and he goes through like this long list of things. Like, I didn't think a vasectomy was going to be that big of a deal, so it's good. I like the Harry character. I like my guy.
I like that they got to throw him in there.
Definitely.
I felt like this would be something they usually would have had Wilson say. So it was nice to get a different character to do something.
Yeah, it'd be funny if it was Benny. Benny comes in. Hey, Tim. Sex all the time. All right. Next scene. Jordan, I'm going to let you finish this one off because I just want
because you didn't write it down.
I just want to hear what you have to say.
You actually did watch the last couple of things muted, so that's the problem.
You know what happened? I ran out of space on my sheet of paper, and I just figured, you know what?
You didn't get a new notebook. You ran out of space to write it down.
That's right.
All right. So later at home, Tim comes home. Tim is ready to talk about the vasectomy. Jill completely understands his fears. He says, I'm struggling because I feel like if I can't have kids, I am less of a man. She says, would I be less of a woman if I had this procedure done? And that is kind of the final straw, I guess, that helps him be okay with it. He makes some jokes to lighten the mood about things that, they'll have to prepare for and do. And so we assume that it's going to happen. And Tim is ready to take that step. Later, next scene, final scene, the boys are headed to the park, leaving Tim and Jill alone, which means Tim is ready to...
Yeah, this is kind of a gross scene, actually. I don't know. I don't... It's, it's very sexy. They've had sex, they're just having sex
everywhere?
All the time. They were going to do it on the table. Tim talks about the attic. The attic they've done before. It's too dusty. The only place they haven't had sex lately because their sex life is so crazy is their bed. So they rush up there and, I don't know, just... something about it doesn't work it just kind of grosses me out. I don't know if it should or shouldn't or where we're supposed to stand on this, but that's kind of how I felt. But roll credits, fade to black, the vasectomy one. Jordan,
Adam?
a nickel for your thoughts.
It's pretty good. Definitely a lot better than Tanks for Your Memories, which we just covered. So it's always good to have something to bounce back from. And it's got some good jokes. It's heavy on like the cutting jokes and the ball jokes and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think they're necessarily bad jokes. We do get Marty being funny, which was strange and confusing. I wondered what show I was on. And,
well, Jordan, you weren't on any show.
That's what you think. You didn't see me hiding in the background there?
I was pausing like in 3 Men and a Baby to see if you were hiding behind the window curtain, but I didn't see you.
Randy and Brad and Mark, they all have some lines and some moments here, so that's nice because sometimes it feels like the boys just are like gone for a whole episode. Although, there's not a lot going on for them to do. Good advice by Wilson, which is always nice. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there was anything that I really didn't like on the show this episode. Nothing really bothered me. I liked Harry coming in and apologizing and sharing. And so, for me, it was a good episode. It's not like an amazing episode. I laughed all the time, but I thought it was just solid.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's good. I think it's particularly good, like you said, in the wake of Thanks for the Memories. But there's some good jokes here. It is a very jokey episode. Some of them don't work, but enough of them do to make it worthwhile. Wilson scene is good. The Harry scene is quite good. Good to see Harry outside of the hardware store. I'll take that whenever I can get it. And I think the Randy butt thing, or the list as a side plot, is funny enough, and it gives him something to kind of do, and seeing him dance around was sort of comical. So yeah, I mean, I like this episode pretty well.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We are redeemed. We are redeemed in the second episode of 2019, so that's
right.
good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to Sean's social media corner. If you want to reach out to us, go to thehomeandpodcast.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter at Home and Podcast. If you'd like to support us, you can go to patreon.com/homeandpodcast or leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. As always, if you give us $5 a month, or I guess $1 a month now, you can get access to bonus episodes. January's bonus episode is going to be Marie Kondo's new Tidying Up show on Netflix. So if your resolution is all about tidying up, we'll have lots to say about that episode and that show
Tim Allen
later this
is
month.
In that first episode, right?
He builds some like storage solutions, I think, for people.
Got it.
That's nice. And then I think you said something about Tim Allen's stand-up special is on Netflix as well, so that'll probably be coming soon.
Not that soon. But yeah,
right.
in a month or so.
Well, time flies when you're having fun.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
Adam, anything going on Twitter in the last week or so?
Jordan, this episode is being recorded before a poll has come out, but I shared a photo. I was walking Sunday evening after, I think it was halftime of the Bears game, and I noticed an establishment. It's called Harry's on Brady, kind of close to where I live in Milwaukee, and it's a restaurant, but the sign is it's Harry's, and it's a large saw, so it made me think of Harry's Hardware. I'm not sure what the saw has to do with the restaurant, as I haven't been inside yet, but I thought of it as a nice nod to home improvement, and appropriate for this sort of Harry-centric episode. So,
wow, what timing! What crazy timing! You just never know when you look around how much home improvement has really just influenced everyone.
Home improvement actually is all around us.
Lovely. Well, I look forward to your next poll on the next episode. I've been really missing the results to that
It'll
stuff.
probably be like, was Thanks for the Memories the worst podcast you've ever heard in your life? And 15 people will vote.
Are you still listening to the podcast?
And they'll say no. No, it'll be all onward and upward, Jordan. Anything else before we get to the end here?
I don't have anything else to share. So, Adam, why don't you go ahead and give me a question?
Jordan, had to go to 101 fun and interesting questions to perk up your boring gathering. And I gotta ask, which one of the 7 dwarfs are you most like? And I'll give you the list.
I mean, how many? Can I name them all?
Sure. I mean, if you can, that would be pretty impressive.
All right, Sleepy.
Got it.
Dopey.
Yep.
Doc.
Yep.
Grumpy.
Mm-hmm.
Bashful,
Yep.
or
Yep.
something like
2
that.
more.
Oh boy. Oh, I should know them. I don't know. 5 out of 7's not bad though.
Really good. Happy.
Oh, that's
and
stupid.
Sneezy.
Oh, yep.
So,
I should have got both
which
of those.
one are you most like?
Well, when my allergies are bad, it's sneezy, but.
Catch me in the spring? Oh, it's Sneezy, alright.
Do you want to know something funny, though?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm looking at... I have, like, a board in front of me, and some stuff pinned up, some pictures and stuff. I have a picture of Grumpy that I drew.
Wow. Post it.
Yeah.
Picture it didn't happen. So Grumpy is kind of your... That's what you resonate most with.
January 22nd, 2016 is when I drew this, apparently. I'm gonna say Bashful.
That's what I would have said for you, too. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the thing about the 7 dwarfs is we're kind of all of them at different points in our life.
We are all the 7 dwarfs, okay?
Adam, which dwarf are you?
What are the characteristics of Doc?
He's kind of he knows some stuff.
Yeah,
Really.
that's me.
He's-
Yep, that's me.
Yeah.
Yep.
The academic.
That's gotta be me. No, I'm not. Probably Doc or sometimes Grumpy, but I'm gonna go with Doc.
Sometimes grumpy.
But also sometimes happy, sleepy, and bashful, and sneezy and dopey. You know what? You're right, Jordan. We are all the seven dwarfs. But
Yeah.
give me Doc.
Is
Yeah, give me Doc.
Doc is kind of the leader. He's kind of like he's spokesperson.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Great question.
All right.
Perhaps
really
we should
good
think about
question.
eliminating this segment. Some episodes are just more or less ripe for questions, I guess.
Yeah, some are harder.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Hey, good. Good.
question.
Well,
Add
that
more-
list
add more to it.
continues to provoke
Be fruitful.
interesting thoughts. Yes. Jordan, what do we cover next week?
Fear of flying. That's what we're gonna be. So get ready.
I am so ready. Jordan, it's been a pleasure talking to you this week. Thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening. I guess I should say take care.
Take care, everybody.